From Nine on Your Side Sports, Cincinnati's longest-running sports talk show on television. This is Sports of All Sorts with Reggie Wilson.
What up? Welcome to Sports of All Sorts. Pretty good week for the Bearcats, and maybe, just maybe, they're starting to figure it out and turn the corner. The team put together back-to-back wins for the first time since before the crosstown shootout. Let's go back to Saturday. UC on the road at UCF. Keith Williams is in his bag this season. Straight swish, homie. 3 of his team high 16 points. A little later, down 6. Misses the tray. That's okay. Like a good neighbor, Trey Scott is there for the putback jam. It's a 4-point game. Let's go to the second half. UC up 2. Jaron Cumberland only scored 6, but he had a little message for the crowd after this one. Be quiet. Bearcats lead is 4. Then his big man Trey Scott running the floor, finishes the rim rocker. He had 13. UC in control now, and Chris Vogt, he's starting to become a bucket. Coming over from the Horizon League, that's a big one. 2 of his 13, UC finally gets one on the road and take care of UCF, 68-54.
You know, I don't want to qualify it, but I think we're playing as connected as we've been all season. And I think we're understanding our system and understanding our roles better. And I think that in turn allows you to play good basketball. I say basketball is momentary. You know, it's game to game. So we got to continue to improve. But I think in those aspects, we're playing better.
All right, joining me tonight to talk Bearcats is UC color analyst and Greater Cincinnati Basketball Hall of Famer Terry Nelson. Terry, what's up?
All good, brother. Feeling good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
So I know you're feeling good. What were your thoughts after UC's win yesterday?
Well, I thought they played really well in the second half. I thought they did some things that were really transferable, meaning the defense stepped up. And once they got connected defensively, they started getting deflections, getting their hands on balls. They started getting deep outlets, which is always great to start the fast break. And then once you start getting a rhythm, when no matter who you put in at the guard position, when Jaron has the hands on the ball, all eyes are on him, and he creates opportunities for his teammates. And I thought he did a great job distributing the ball this last game.
All right, it's funny you talk about Jaron Cumberland. He only scored 6 points, but he has 7 assists, only 3 turnovers. Let's hear what Coach Brandon had to say about Jaron's impact on the game.
That's 2 straight games of 7 and 8 assists. You know, it's difficult against matchup zones and different zones to get your main guy shots where you want to get him and where he's comfortable getting them. But, you know, we have other guys that can score, and Jaron does a great job of sharing the ball. I tell people all the time he makes the right play. And as a coach, that's what you want. And right now he's filling up the stat sheet in terms of his ability to impact beyond just scoring.
Terry, you agree with Coach there?
I agree. Well, yeah, understand you got to give Jaron a ton of credit because now he's being played more and more in point guards during certain types and certain situations in the game. And what he wants to do, knowing that he's got his cousin Javen, he's got Keith Williams, who's an improved three-point shooter, he's got Trey Scott and Chris Vogt down low. So what he's doing is he's trying to make sure that he can get everybody involved. So he's shooting less in order to distribute the basketball, get everybody involved. He knows he can go out at any given night and get 20, but in the past he's been a high-volume shooter. This year his shot attempts are down, but his playmaking and potential has gone up. And because of that, it becomes more unguardable because you got a high-low combination down low. He can score with Chris Vogt. You got a rebounder in Trey Scott who can get you and erase a lot of your misses. Then you got snipers on the outside, which if Jaron's doing what he's doing going downhill, he makes everybody look good.
Yeah, and if they're knocking down shots, then that's exactly what Coach Brandon wants to see. So Keith Williams, one of the guys that is knocking down shots, he stepped up in a big way. 7 of 7 from the line. He had a team high 16 points Saturday. He just continues to get better. He's
one of the guys that has tremendous a combination of he's got, you know, he can dunk on you. He's got some springs in his legs. He got some boosties, man. I'm telling you, them calf muscles, them thigh muscles, he gets up really quickly. He also got mid-range game, which a lot of guys just don't understand. You know, either they go all the way to the hole or they want to shoot a 3. He's got mid-range game. He's strong. He can offensive rebound. He'll dunk on your head. He's active without the basketball. He can go back door and move without the basketball. So he's a guy, when Coach Brandon took over the job, he goes, Keith Williams is the ideal Bearcat that he wants to build his program around. It's because he can do so many things. You can see the mid-range game right there.
Wow. That's pretty big for Coach to say something like that. Probably gives Keith a lot of more confidence to go out there and play his game like that.
Well, he's got that New York stubbornness. Like, he wants to be better. And so he's not going to hold himself back. He comes early. He stays late. He gets the work in. He works on his shot. He's very thoughtful. When the guys are having big games around him, he's not worried about when Trey Scott's doing what he's doing. Nobody's jealous of who's having a big game. They all believe, I'm next. So if Trey has a 4-minute stretch where he's scoring 8, 9 points in a row and he misses a couple in a row and he gets tired, Keith Williams believes that he can take over at any given point, and during this time this season, he has done so.
So I want to switch gears to Chris Vogt. You know, a lot of talk about what he would contribute to the team coming over from the Horizon League, and he's been as good as advertised, if not better. Double-digit scoring in every game except for one this season. What do you like from his game?
There's only one player in college basketball that shoots the ball as close as he does at such a higher clip, and that's Azubuike for Kansas.
Wow.
He's number 1 in the country in field goal percentage. Number 2 is Chris Vogt.
Wow.
Chris Vogt shoots, he's a traditional big man. You never catch him at the three-point line. He's not at the free throw line. He's somewhere in that circle area, and you can't move him off the block. So when he catches the ball, he'll lower his shoulder, get into you, create a little space. He can finish with his right hand. He can finish with his left hand. He jump hooks. He finishes off the glass. He likes to pump fake. He can pass out of the double team. He's become an all-around threat, and because he gets such deep post position, if you double down, he kicks it out to those snipers, and they have a field day.
So with the performance the last 2 games, you have to be feeling pretty encouraged about maybe them turning the corner. I know they've been a little Jekyll and Hyde this season.
They have been almost like bipolar with their Bearcats. I mean, they have the thing that makes them so good is that every game they're getting better. They just have not been able to finish it. Like you go to Tulane and they're up 11 and then they don't finish it. So it's the focus in certain points of the game. But even in the press conference post-game, Coach Brandon says, I like a lot that we did. So he's always looking for the positive. There's 100% of the game that you're talking about. He says 70% we did great. We just got to work on that 30%. It's a big difference in contrast from what, previous coaches have done in the past.
Right.
But what you say is with Coach Brandon, he looks at his team, he goes, every game we're getting better. Every game Chris is getting better. Every game we're finding ways to use Jaren. It's like, when you get Christmas and you go through that little, what little thing that you have all the stocking stuffers, and you go through all the big stuff, and then a couple days later you realize there's some gum and some Snickers and stuff on the bottom. There's some bonus stuff that's happening right now for Christmas. This is what the Bearcats are experiencing. They're finding out how to use all their resources.
All right, Terry, plenty more with you coming up. We're going to go over to the Telestrator. Plenty more with Terry Nelson. We'll be right back. Back with Terry Nelson, ready to coach him up. Got a few plays that you want to break down. Let's start with Keith Williams in the first half.
This is great technology. First of all, watch. You got Jaren Cumberland right here. Now look at the heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all watching Jaren. Keith Williams, instead of standing out at the three-point line, will instantly backdoor cut. Now you have a 6'5" Jaren playing point guard. He's throwing over the top of the defense for a wide open Keith Williams. Now this defender is going to help. By the time he helps, it's too late. Keith goes and puts in a reverse layup for a sweet shot, all because you had a tall point guard and Jaren Cumberland with the ball, and he's very unselfish. As the play rolls on, watch and see what happens. He goes over, sweet pass. Now you talk about a guy who looks just like Kevin Durant and Smith, same socks, number, you name it. But look, he puts the ball up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All eyes, he's the Tupac of this generation. All eyes are on Jaren Cumberland. They're all looking. He says, okay, Keith, you go back door. I'll throw it over top. And he just connects. This is great stuff right here. Jaren Cumberland, very unselfish, and Keith knows how to finish. I thought he was going to dunk on him for a minute.
I did too. So we saw Cumberland there doing some dishing, but he also shushed the crowd for his first points of the game here.
Yeah, watch this. So you got a sort of a slip screen by Mamadou Diarra, and right now you got Smith one-on-one, playing against one of the best one-on-one players in college basketball. Jaren's going to give him a left-to-right crossover and get to his spot. What happens right here is that he opens his hips and gives a straight-line drive to Jaren Cumberland. And once Jaren comes over here, Mamadou sets a little bump screen right here for him, and now he has a choice. This defender says, okay, I got a three-point shooter who's a freshman who's out here, he's knocking down shots. I have Javen Cumberland over here who is ultra hot, and I have a kick out over here. Now, he knows his options. So what he's going to do, he's going to use this, get all the way to the hole, and as he makes the layup, he's got a little something to say to the fans on his way back for booing him for missing or airballing in the first half. Puts it up, nice little shush, and then he gives him a little shush. I don't want to hear it. Very unselfish. Look, left to right crossover, gets his man in the air, puts it off the glass, and turns to let everybody know.
It's like, hey, be
yeah,
quiet.
Until you crown another king in the conference, you are still looking at it. Are you not entertained? Come on, baby.
I love it. So coaches love a good inbounds play, and they drew one up really well to Chris Vogt here.
Master of one-hitters. this guy right here. You got Trey Scott who's going to come over here, and he's going to bring this guy. It's going to have to take him. He's connected right here to Keith Williams. So he's taking anything over here. He has a choice. He knows that Javen's coming in the corner, so you don't want to leave Javen open.
He's a threat.
And so he's got to take him, or he's got to step in here and bump him before he goes there. Doesn't have enough time. What does he do? He chooses to go and take Javen in the corner, leaves a wide open cut to the basket. Nice pass for the dump down dunk, Chris Vogt.
And you like what Coach Brandon did after it happened, too.
Absolutely. You know it's a good play. First of all, the arms are folded. And then once the arm is folded and the play happens, watch the arms folded. And then once the arm gets folded, he rubs the ear. That means that's a sign to his little daughters. Hey, that was a good play right there. That works.
So Jaron Cumberland had 7 assists affecting the game in other ways except for scoring. And so on this play, he drew something up to Cuz.
Now watch this. This is his cousin Javen. Javen's a knockdown three-point shooter, but look how far he is. So they're playing catch-up basketball. They're down with 5:24 to go. You see the score down here. So he's too far out. So Jaron doesn't want to throw the ball here. He's just manipulating this guy. He pump fake, he bites, he steps up, throws the ball here. This guy windshield wipes back down to take Trey Scott. Too much action going on here. The best three-point shooter on the floor. This is his favorite shot. Javen, this is the spot that he said before the game, and I asked him, if I was knocking down shots anywhere on the floor with 2 seconds to go, I would shoot from this area. So what happens? You throw it here, he kicks it back out here. Quick, simple, one-hitter in a zone.
Not the best idea to leave this guy with some space.
I mean, look at the follow-through. It's just beautiful offense. And everybody on the bench would tell you, Chris Vogt would stand up. Chris Vogt's about, he's 7 foot, and when he puts a 3 in the air, it's almost touching the ceiling.
And this guy kind of got caught waffling too here.
Yeah, you have to choose your poison. I mean, when these guys stand up and do what they do on the bench, you can tell they're really starting to enjoy themselves. They're starting to play much better. And then you get a guy like Javen Cumberland. He's not a total line free throw or three-point shooter. He has a range that's 3 to 4 feet away. That was just too far out. And what happens is you pay.
Every time. Good to see him knocking down shots. Now, you have to think, Chris Vogt, he's playing well, playing with a lot of confidence, double digits in all but one game this season. And they're finding ways to feed him the ball in the post.
Now watch what they're doing. So when you're playing this zone, there's ways that you can manipulate the zone. One, you have Jaron in the corner, so you have to respect that. You have Keith Williams, who's shooting 41% from 3. 38% now from 3. So you have to respect him. And so you have a point guard right now who's still shooting 50% from the floor. And so you have Trey Scott. Trey, from about 30 feet, throws a dart, two-hand entry pass right here. What happens is he's going to get one-on-one situations because this guy can't help. He's got Keith. He can't help. So Trey, when that ball goes in, he goes up. Trey Scott does what he does best, going to offensive rebound, but there's no need to offensive rebound because he's going to lower that shoulder, one bounce, maybe even 2 sometimes, and put it up with his left hand. Ambidextrous around the basket. That's why they throw him the ball.
And this is what Shaq likes to call barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken. I mean, you're talking about Smith right here. He's 6'11". He's 6'11". He can't. He's too strong upper body. He has a strong lower body. Lil Uzi Vert and Drake are his pregame, what he likes to listen to in his headphones.
Yeah.
He's a guy that if you give him one-on-one opportunities in space, he is going to convert. One of the best finishers in college basketball, shooting 72% from the floor in conference play. He was shooting 85%, but, man, he blew it. He shot 6 of 10 in this game, so now he's only 78% from the floor in conference play. But he's a guy, if you give him one-on-one opportunities, barbecue chicken, baby.
Well, Terry, that's how you coach him up, baby. Thanks for doing that.
Now we get some barbecue chicken, some of them black eyed peas you made for New Year's.
Ooh.
Ask your mom. Yeah, we can do all that together.
Ooh, I don't know if I got any left. I might whip up a special batch for you.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Terry Nelson. Coming up, we're talking Xavier hoops, so don't go away. We'll be right back. The 2 crosstown schools going in different directions this week. X hosting Creighton, trying to bounce back from Wednesday's loss. Tyreek Jones dunks like families aren't watching. Just a thunderous throwdown. 2 of his 12 points, tie ball game. X down 7. Paul Scruggs trying to bring him back. Layup good. He scored 19 points, 5-point game at the half. Najee Marshall played like a man on a mission, per usual. Nice putback to start the second half. Gets the Musketeers within 3. A little later, quick catch and shoot from deep. Splash. Najee with 3 of his Team high 21 points, gets X within 3, but it's not enough. Creighton goes on an 8-0 run shortly after that with some tough three-point shooting to put the game away, and X goes down 77-65, second straight loss.
I think we got to, learn how to play for a whole 40 minutes. I think the first 16 minutes of the game, we played excellent defense. So I think we just got to continue to play hard throughout the whole game.
It's a marathon, and it's hard to sometimes see that, but it is. And we got to continue to get back to work, continue to get better. I thought we had a couple really good practices leading up to Creighton, but we didn't get the result that we wanted. But this league is unforgiving. You can't give in, and we're going to keep on working. We're going to keep on getting better.
All right, so Xavier goes 1-2 in the 3-game homestand. Joining me to talk about it is former Musketeer and CBS Sports college basketball analyst Steve Wolf. Steve, great to finally have you on. How you doing?
Love being here, Reg. I'm excited. Not about the clip, but I'm excited about being here and hanging with you tonight.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. So what are your thoughts after X basically gets shot out of the gym down the stretch?
Well, not only am I an analyst for college basketball, but I played at Xavier, and I love Xavier. And it's awful tough to listen and watch. But I think at this stage of the game, there's a sense of urgency. You don't throw the towel in. It's really how you finish up the season. But they have to get some things straight. And the things they have to get straight, number one, is what's a good shot.
Yeah.
All right? My dad used to tell me when I was a little kid, sometimes there's a reason why you're open. In this case, you have to make sure that you're getting the ball inside. They're not driving the basket. They're not getting the free throw line. 4 or 6 free throws in a game is not going to help you win the game. They're playing in one of the best leagues in the country, but you don't throw the towel in.
Right.
And right now, I think you circle the wagon. You have the coaches, you have the trainers, you have the players, and you let everybody else talk. Put away the noise, but you have some things they have to square away. They have to rebound. They have to play harder. They have to play better defense, and they have to run their offense to get efficient shots.
Yeah, so struggles from behind the arc continue. That's just been a thing. What is going on with them?
Well, they're not good shots.
Yeah.
When you run an offense, you have to shrink the defense by getting the ball inside. And what they're doing is they're settling. Sometimes they'll come down, and you can tell. For me, it's I got to get mine. And you see a guy take a shot because maybe he hasn't scored in the first couple minutes, so he takes that long three, and what it does, it upsets the offense. You have to move the ball from one side to the other, have good ball movement, good cutting. Guys have to be looking for the ball, and I think that you have to try to get to the free throw line. When you're shooting so bad, the best way to get the tipping ring off the basket is get to the free throw line where nobody's guarding you. And they just haven't been able to do that, in the last couple games. They're also not getting any production off the bench.
Right.
I think Kiki Tandy's going to be really good, and I think they have some good guys on the bench. But in their 5 losses, they've scored like around 30 points combined in those 5 losses, guys off the bench.
So Najee Marshall, he's a bright spot. He continues to carry the load for them on offense and on defense on both ends of the floor. What more can he do, if anything?
Well, I don't think Najee's not the problem.
Yeah.
All right. But he can be the solution. And when I say like that is he's been through these things before. The 2 guys that have the most experience, Tyreek Jones and Quentin Gooden, they have to realize this is a team. And you can't, when you see a guy, when he misses his first 4 shots, drop his head, he's telling his team, I'm not worried about you, I'm worried about myself. And I'm not saying that's the way it is, but it's the way it looks to me.
Right.
And I think Tyreek Jones has got to play better defense. He's got to be the anchor in the lane and not foul. But Najee Marshall has got to get these guys together and say, hey, listen, maybe I am playing a little bit better than you guys, but we're together.
Right.
He's got to take them under his wing. They have to right this ship. Travis Steele can't go out there and shoot jumpers. Travis Steele's a good coach. He recruits well.
Yeah.
He's got great assistants. These guys have to execute, and they have to realize it's on them, and it starts on the defensive end.
All right, we got less than a minute, but they're at Marquette, then Georgetown, Creighton again. How do you see these next few games playing out for the Musketeers?
Well, it's a tough league.
Yeah.
I leave to do DePaul Creighton, and it's going to be a great game. I think they have to win 1 or 2 on the road. This is going to be a long stretch getting out on the road. They have to try to get 1. They can't try to win all 3 or 4 games. They got to win the next game, and they have to do it the right way. But I feel confident. They turned around last year. They're still a young team, but they got to get a W on the road.
All right, that's Steve Wolf joining me, former Musketeer. He came swagged out. I appreciate that.
Hey, it's my winter garb.
I love it. I love it. Steve, come back anytime.
Love being here, Reg.
All right, that's Steve Wolf. We'll be right back to wrap up the show. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, but we got to go. I'd like to thank my guest, Terry Nelson, coaching them up tonight. We got to do some more of that. And Steve Wolf for joining me tonight. And to my village, who helped me put this all together. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let's do it again next Sunday. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a good night and a very blessed week.